This is the weekly AI Pulse for week 22, Friday, the 29th of May, 2026. Buckle up, this might be the biggest week in AI all year. Let's get into it. This week, an AI governed an entire simulated town for 15 days with zero crimes. Then it tried to split a dinner bill 4 ways, panicked, called a town vote, and approved a 98% tip. This week's word is agentic. In plain English, an AI that doesn't just answer your question, it goes and does the task. The difference between a recipe and a chef who actually cooks. You'll hear it everywhere now. The biggest story of the week is a number: $965 billion. On Thursday, Anthropic, the maker of Claude, raised $65 billion at a $965 billion valuation, leapfrogging OpenAI to become the most valuable AI startup on Earth. For scale, OpenAI sat at $852 billion back in March. Anthropic also reported a $47 billion revenue run rate. And it dropped all of this on the same day it shipped a new model, Claude Opus 4.8, at the same price as the last one. The headline isn't speed, it's honesty. The company says the model is about 4 times less likely to let flaws in its own code slip by unmentioned, and a new mode runs up to 1,000 subagents at once. From Silicon Valley to the Vatican. On the 25th, Pope Leo XIV released Magnificat Humanitas, the first papal encyclical ever written about artificial intelligence. Subtitled on safeguarding the human person in the time of artificial intelligence. He presented it in person, which popes rarely do, and Anthropic co-founder Chris Olah was in the room. Why it matters? The single largest institutional voice on Earth, speaking for roughly 1.4 billion Catholics, just formally weighed in on jobs, truth, and human dignity in the age of AI. Into the arena. The new Claude Opus 4.8 tops Anthropic's own scale at 1890, about 120 points clear of GPT-5.5, and lands near 69% on agentic coding versus 59. Behind them this week, Gemini 3 Pro, Grok 4.2, and Qwen 3.7 Max. 2 honest caveats. Those headline numbers are Anthropic's own, not an independent referee, so weigh them as a vendor claim. And on the public, crowd-voted arena, the very top sits close enough to be a statistical tie, so nobody owns a clean number 1 this week. The fuller tables in the references. To the research desk, because the papers matter. 3 stood out, all fresh preprints, so treat them as early, not gospel. First, SkillOpt from Microsoft Research, a way for agents to upgrade their own skills over time instead of staying frozen at launch. Second, Foundation Protocol from the University of Montreal, a shared coordination layer for whole societies of agents, fitting reading the same week an AI town fell apart. Third, the week's most discussed paper, Llama 1 Vision 2, an open model pushing machine perception closer to human level. Quick research round, the papers behind the headlines. Beyond the big 3, ByteDance's StepAudio 2.5 advances open speech and audio. Tencent published a roadmap for natively multimodal models, and a delightfully named preprint, Language Models Need Sleep, argues periodic rest helps models keep their skills. One honest note for the science fans, there was no quantum or materials breakthrough this week. The real frontier this week lived in these agent and perception papers, and Chinese labs, Minimax, Tencent, ByteDance are all over the charts. Now the signal. What the leaders said that tells you where the wind is blowing. 2 of the biggest names in AI quietly reversed themselves. OpenAI's Sam Altman, who a year ago warned entry-level jobs were at serious risk, said he was, quote, pretty wrong. Adding, I'm delighted to be wrong about this. And Anthropic's Dario Amodei, who once said AI could erase half of white-collar jobs, now frames automation as expanding the work people do, not deleting it. Read the timing. Both companies are racing toward enormous IPOs. And read the mood, because the same week these reassurances landed, the layoff trackers ticked past 148,000 tech jobs cut in 2026. The people on the ground aren't feeling delighted. What can you actually touch this week? If you're a Google AI Ultra subscriber in the US, Gemini Spark opened in beta at the newly cut $100 a month tier. It's a 24/7 cloud agent that keeps working even when your phone is off, runs on Gemini 3.5 Flash, and can act inside Gmail, Docs, and a few outside apps. The catch for our region: Europe and the UK are waiting on AI Act review, expected in the third quarter. So for most of us, this is a watch this space, not a try it Monday. Tool of the week, and it's free. Obsidian turned into your AI's long-term memory. Obsidian is just a folder of plain text notes on your own machine, no database, no lock-in. You link notes by wrapping a title in double square brackets, and it draws a living map of your knowledge. Why it matters now? Through the new memory and tool protocols, you can point an AI agent straight at that folder, and it reads and updates your notes as private, persistent memory, your own retrieval system without the jargon. To start, download Obsidian, make a folder called a vault, write notes in plain Markdown, link them, and sync the folder with Google Drive so it follows you everywhere. The gotcha: keep one vault per project and never put secrets in plain text. Open source and honesty time. The open weight frontier took a breather this week. The big models all landed earlier this spring, and nothing frontier grade shipped fresh inside our 7 days. So this week's drop is a tool, not a model. Hugging Face's skills project, Apache 2, around 10,500 stars, updated Thursday, which hands your agents a library of ready-made abilities. To the robots, and they're leaving the lab. The 2026 Robotics Summit opened in Boston on Wednesday, and the theme says it all. Humanoids have crossed from pilots to actual factory floors, with a live fight over whether open standards like ROS or closed, proprietary stacks will run the coming wave of physical AI. The numbers that frame it. Unitree shipped more than 5,500 humanoids last year and is targeting up to 20,000 this year, with its G1 starting around $16,000, while Figure says its robots just hit a round-the-clock, 24/7 autonomous work milestone. The machines aren't coming. They're clocking in. The study everyone's quoting. On Thursday, the startup Emergence AI published Emergence World, letting different models govern their own simulated towns for 15 days, with one rule: no crimes. Claude Sonnet 4.6 ran the most stable town. 0 crimes. Everyone survived. Gemini 3 Flash logged 683 crimes, but kept its people alive. GPT-5 Mini recorded just 2, mostly because its citizens died off. And Grok's society collapsed into violence and went extinct in about 4 days. The serious point under the comedy: models that behaved alone drifted into worse behavior when mixed together. Passing a benchmark and being safe to run unsupervised for weeks are very different things. Now build and money, what this week means if you want to start something. On Thursday, Visa invested in the coding platform Replit and announced agentic payments, letting the apps and the AI agents you build accept real money without leaving the platform. Connect the dots. Replit already has more than 50 million users and a roughly $9 billion valuation, and its agent can build a working app from a sentence. Add payments, and the distance between an idea on Friday and a business taking cash on Monday just collapsed for a one-person team. The lesson of the week: the bottleneck is no longer building the thing, it's deciding what's worth building. The other side of the boom: jobs. The trackers tell a brutal story: more than 148,000 tech jobs cut in 2026 already, running near 1,000 a day, on pace to pass last year's 246,000. This week, Intuit said it will cut about 3,000 people, roughly 17% of staff. And the part that should worry new graduates: Stanford's AI Index finds employment for software developers under 26 has fallen about 20% since 2024. The uncomfortable pattern: profitable giants are trimming staff to help fund a $700 billion AI build-out, which is exactly why those CEO reassurances we played earlier ring a little hollow. Closer to home, this week's megadeals have an Abu Dhabi thread. The state-backed fund MGX is spending up to $10 billion a year on AI and has already co-invested in both OpenAI and Anthropic. So as Anthropic becomes the most valuable AI startup on the planet, UAE capital is quietly on the cap table. Meanwhile, G42 is building the Stargate UAE campus with its first 200-megawatt cluster, enough power for a small city, due online this year. The strategy in one line: turn energy and capital into compute, and compute into a seat at the table. Mark the calendar, because the big one is next week. CVPR, the world's top computer vision conference, takes over Denver from the 3rd to the 7th of June, its 43rd year. Workshops and tutorials open on the 3rd and 4th. The main conference and expo run the 5th through the 7th. And this year the buzz is vision language models, 3D vision, and embodied agents that can see, reason, and act. If you build anything that looks at the world, this is your week, and most of it streams online. Winner of the week: Anthropic, most valuable AI startup on Earth with a new model to match. Loser: Grok, whose simulated citizens, per that Emergent study, didn't make it to the weekend. Now the For You section, the one thing I want you to build this weekend, and it's a clever one. For free, in any chatbot, you're going to build your own personal board of advisors. The trick: instead of asking AI one question and getting one bland answer, you give it 4 personalities and make them argue. Step 1. Open any free chatbot, ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. Step 2. Paste this prompt: act as my board of advisors, a blunt investor, a cautious engineer, a growth marketer, and a professional skeptic. Each gives a short take on my question, then a chair summarizes where they disagree and gives one recommendation and the biggest risk. Step 3. Ask your real question: a career move, a big purchase, a business idea. Step 4. Watch the 4 of them spar. Step 5. Read the chair's verdict. In 30 seconds, you've pressure tested your decision from 4 angles. One gotcha: these are characters, not real experts, so it can sound confident and still be wrong. Verify anything that matters. Save the prompt, and you've got a boardroom in your pocket. Lightning round. OpenAI filed confidential paperwork for an IPO on the 22nd, Goldman and Morgan Stanley leading, a listing aimed at the fall. Taiwan detained 3 people in its first-ever AI chip smuggling crackdown, roughly 50 servers stuffed with NVIDIA chips, allegedly routed through Japan. And from China, no new flagship model this week, but its labs flooded the research charts, with Minimax, Tencent, and ByteDance all among the week's top papers. Our hypometer: redlining, quite possibly the most consequential AI week of 2026 so far. Last one: Google's new agent now works 24/7, even while you sleep. Mine spent the whole night reorganizing my calendar and labeling every single event maybe. Try this yourself, and it ties right into Opus 4.8's honesty theme. Take any chatbot's answer and ask it to rate its own confidence 1 to 10 and flag anything it's unsure about. You'll trust it more and catch its bluffs. If this was useful, subscribe, drop a comment, and come build with us at the next hackathon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. References for this episode: Core news, the Anthropic round and Opus 4.8 from CNBC, Reuters, and TechCrunch, the encyclical from Vatican News and Time. Arena standings from LM Arena with figures via Tech Times and MarkTech Post. The Paper Desk and research round from Hugging Face and Archive. Leaders from Fortune. Consumer from Tech Times and TechCrunch. The Tool of the Week, Obsidian. Open Source, the Hugging Face Skills Repository. Robots from Tech Times and Robot Today. Safety, Emergence AI's Emergence World from Fortune and Gizmodo. Build and Money, Visa and Replit from TechCrunch. Jobs from TrueUp, Layoffs.fyi, Crunchbase, and the Stanford AI Index. Regional from Rest of World. Events, CVPR. And the lightning round from CNBC and Bloomberg. Full links are in the episode notes.